If you want to quit your job today, this show is for you. I'm going to give you 3 actionable steps that you can take, as well as a quote at the end that will be the quote that will help you whenever things get tough or whenever you get too scared to act. So today, let's get into the top 3 actions that you can take today and over the weekend to be able to build a life of your dreams. So why am I qualified to talk on this?
Why?
For those of you that are new to the show, I quit my corporate job in March, got on a one-way flight July 6th to Greece, and now I'm traveling around the world full time. So I've done it too, and I can walk you through everything because I went through it also. Not only did it, but recently. Tip number 1, stop trying to run away from your job and instead run towards something. So don't run away, run towards. Don't push, be pulled. The reason that this is important is I have tried to quit my job before, and I did, and I went to another worse company. So I always compare it to exchanging a drinking habit for picking up cocaine. So I traded one bad thing for a worse thing. And so I've tried to do it before, and I had a lot of F you in my system to that company. And what happened was I was operating from a place of animosity and resentment, and that clouded my judgment. So when I quit, it wasn't sticky. You know what I mean? So I ended up going back to that company and tucking my tail between my legs and going back. So you want to have a vision and an idea of what that ideal life or goal looks like that can pull you there. That's what keeps you going. That's the why.
Why?
Simon Sinek, start with why. That's what you want to aim for, because a more powerful magnet is going to be one that pulls you instead of repels you. Tip number 2, start with 20% and then increase. What this means is instead of just jumping cold turkey from your job over into something brand new and having no kind of rhyme, reason, or game plan, what I recommend is take 20% of your additional time and dedicate that to the pursuit of a new revenue source that you are creating, like a business that you're starting or a real estate investment. So take 20% of your time and then gradually work that up to 30, 40, 50%. And you can do this in one of 2 ways. You can either do this in time outside of your W-2, or you can do what I did and find ways to optimize your W-2 to do it in less amount of time, more efficiently, into where I cut my W-2 essentially down to 20 hours a week. And I spent the rest of my time building up the real estate, building up the podcast, building up the side business. And then that allowed me for a smoother exit whenever it was time to go, because I already had 4 months of recurring back-to-back goals hit outside of my W-2. Does that make sense? Tip number 3 is also a financial one. So while you're building up the side business and you're doing your 20%, 30, 40, 50 out on top of your W-2, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to build a cash cushion, a safety net, an emergency fund. And while you're building this up, that is going to allow you to operate not from a place of fear and scarcity, but from a place of abundance and security after you leave your job, because your emotions are going to be running wild and you got to keep them from self-sabotaging you. So what you want to do is find the number that's comfortable for you. For me, I don't have any kids, so 3 months of expenses was my sweet spot. If I had 3 months of expenses in pure hard cash money, I knew that I could operate from a place of abundance and not have to worry about any emergencies or anything going wrong. And I could have time and space and freedom to actually do the thinking work and take the time to build the business and do all of that good stuff. So that emergency fund for you and your family may be 5 months, 6 months, and maybe a year. Jamie Gruber came on the show and he had a year's worth of expenses, $100,000 saved up. So do whatever your number is and just attack that mercilessly. Save every single penny that you got so that you have that cash cushion. Don't put it in an index fund. Don't put it in any other account, just cold hard cash. I literally had a stock fund, I had a savings account, and then I had what was called a freedom fund for me. So this was outside of my investment money. This was outside of my emergency fund. This was my freedom fund is what I called the bank account. And now lastly, the quote that you can tell yourself whenever things are getting too scary, nerve-wracking, and you feel that you can't do it, because let's call it what it is. This game that we're playing right here today is an emotional one, and it's 90% of the battle. So what I will tell you is imagine this. Instead of imagining if everything went right, imagine if everything goes wrong. What is the worst case scenario if you absolutely fall flat on your face, fail at your business, run out of money, you have to figure out what to do to provide for yourself and your family? What is the worst case scenario that would happen? The worst case scenario is you would simply go and get another job. That's it. You would go get another job. So, what does this mean in context of this show today, in this episode? And why is this quote going to be important for you? Your worst case scenario is your present day reality. Your worst case scenario is your present day reality. So, if everything goes wrong, crashes and burns, erupts into flames, you can go get another job, which is exactly what you're doing right now. So, use that quote to drive you, because that's what I use, and that quote is the thing that got me over the finish line. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys today. I wanted to post this on a Friday so you could go and chew on this and digest it over the weekend. This show is literally designed to help you quit your job. You guys know that, right? So I hope you enjoy your job, but if you don't, I want you to be able to either do your own thing, live a life on your own terms, or if you want to leave that high-paying, high-stress job for one that is lower-paying but super fulfilling, like if you're in corporate but you just want to be a teacher, but you want to be financially set, I want you to be able to go be that teacher. Does that make sense? So just want you guys to live the best life that you could possibly live, because we only have one of them to live. So with that, I'll leave you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you again on Monday.